Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to take another look at Genesis in 1976. We took a look at another clip from this same concert very recently. Los Endos was that one. Today we're going to be looking at Fly on a Windshield into Carpet Crawlers. And we just thought that would be a really cool thing to put on the channel. We haven't seen either of the songs before on the channel. And this video, this concert, is new to us, even as longtime Genesis fans. So this was from July 9 or 10, 1976. Bill Bruford is on the drums. Adrian, any thoughts on that clip or on the one we're going to look at?
Los Endos. It was just great to see a Genesis clip with Bill Bruford, for one thing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, why don't we go ahead, check it out, and we'll discuss afterwards.
All right.
Inside our people, they've more lifeblood than before. They're moving in time to a heavy wooden door, where the needle's eye is winking, closing on the floor. Carpet crawlers leave their corners. We gotta get in there. Gotta get in to get out.
Oh, there's a lot of awesomeness in that video. For Fly on a Windshield, I guess, both the drummers are there again. And I was taking note of what Steve and Tony were doing, and also you could hear what they were doing anyway. I mean, Steve's doing the slide guitar, and Bill was playing the percussion set, as opposed to a drum set, because Phil's got the drum set.
I mean, the percussion stuff sounded a lot like what we heard on Lark's Tongue and Aspic.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, a lot of King Crimson-y type stuff going on back there during that piece.
Yeah, it was also the first time I've seen, Fly on a Windshield played without vocals, but it makes sense because Phil was on the drums for that one.
Yeah, I guess he was kind of busy, so they're like, well, we don't need it. And actually, they truncated that whole section. They made every part of it half as long as it was on the album. So I thought, okay, well. So the main impetus for playing it, I think, was to have that beginning part, which is also majestic. I love both parts of the song, but I understand why they went with that, and I think it worked. Yep, a lot of slide for Steve there.
This is the first time I remember seeing Steve use a slide. I mean, you can kind of hear it in some of his songs, but I've never actually seen him use one.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember seeing him use one anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about maybe Firth of the Fifth or something. It could very well just be that he's bending the strings. Yeah,
and there are some songs you can hear him, he's just sliding his finger up the guitar too, the guitar neck.
Right, yeah. There are a lot of different ways to achieve that. So that was Fly on a Windshield. And then we got into Carpet Crawlers, where we have Phil coming out from behind the drums. And so Bill gets onto the main kit. It looked to me like Bill Bruford's bass drum might have been a little smaller than the one Phil Collins was using. And it seems to me that Bill maybe used to use a jazz kit mostly, or his bass drums did tend to be a little bit smaller than the average rock drummer's set. I think I knew this, but this was the first time actually seeing it up close and realizing that Tony Banks and Steve Hackett and Michael Rutherford are all just going full blast, at a low volume perhaps, but they're just doing this throughout the song. And I'm like, geez, I wonder if they got hand cramps afterwards, because Tony's just there.
Yeah, his part doesn't stop. It keeps going with all the rapid notes and everything.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest one. But Mike Rutherford also was just strumming away like that too with his fingers, throughout as well. And Steve was ripping away the whole song. It's just that his volume was down a little bit. But if his volume had been up, that would have been just a 5-minute guitar solo, of epic proportions, and it was interesting to see that and just observe that. And I liked Bill's playing on that too. Got a little of his personality in there. But it was also true to the original studio version. First time I've ever seen Bill Bruford playing with them is in these clips.
Same here. It's really, really cool to see him playing with Genesis.
Yeah, I agree. Phil Collins has been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My understanding is Genesis is already in there, but for 2026, we'll find out in April whether or not he makes it in. And he also recently sat on a drum kit again. I want to show a little clip of him just to show the difference between what we just saw and where he is today.
So now for that.
So as we know, Phil has been ill, also somewhat disabled by his drumming. He didn't have good drumming form, apparently, during his Genesis years. And this only became clear years later, I guess, to him. And then there was a botched surgery, which made matters much worse, trying to correct it. So that's why he's in the situation he is in now. So he doesn't play anymore. But we did want to congratulate Phil on being nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, it was kind of neat watching him play the drums again. It seemed like he was just digging the way the drums sounded, really appreciating that, I think.
Yeah, and then realizing, no, he really can't sit and do this anymore, Folks, why don't you give your impression on the clips we looked at today, Fly on a Windshield, Carpet Crawlers, and if you have any words on Phil Collins himself, by all means, leave those below. If there's any details in here you think we missed, leave those as well. If you have other suggestions for us, leave those too. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. We will catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
See you later.